Begin KCAL9 News at 4 with breaking news in Hacienda Heights. An armed man has parked himself on the roof of a home, holding police at bay.
Yeah, the man has stripped naked and changed his clothes a few times. Let's go live now to Stu Mandel, live above in Sky 9. Stu?
Juan, Lena, at this point right now, he has his pants on. Thank goodness for that. But it wasn't like that earlier on. He actually was up here naked. Now, this is a barricade suspect. This is a dangerous type of situation happening out here, Hacienda Heights, 16,000 block of carriage out here. Now, the sheriff's department's been out here in force. As they get a little bit wider, this is kind of coming to an end. You can see the number of law enforcement in the area, mostly deputies. Earlier on, they were saying that he had an automatic weapon or some sort of gun in his possession, but since he's been out on the veranda part of the house, we haven't seen much, thank goodness, except for that cell phone right there. Right now, we do know that there are specialized SWAT professionals inside those windows actually talking to him, basically just telling him, come on inside, we'll take you into custody, we'll bring this to an end. But this standoff still continues out here in the Hacienda Heights area. At this time, no hostages, no injuries. Live in Sky 9, Stu Mandel, back to you two in the studio.
A house fire followed by gunfire in Gardena. A man accused of killing his mother and then targeting firefighters.
Well, according to witnesses, the suspect killed his mother right in front of firefighters.
Yeah, neighbors along South Orchard near 154th in Gardena tell us they knew something like this would happen. KCAL9's Dave Lopez joins us now live with details. Dave?
Well, they say they knew something like this would happen because they said that the father had told them that there's something wrong with my son, but I don't know what to do about it. The words of the neighbors. Behind me, you see some family members and friends outside the house where this happened. Very shocking story when you look at all of the details of this thing. You have the firefighters arriving, think they're going to put out a house fire. They get right into what police described as a family dispute that turned deadly, and shot right in front of them was the mother. LA City firefighters scramble for cover. And the anguished cries of a young daughter, knowing that her mother has been killed. Police say by her older brother, Jose Ramirez, age 28, who earlier, they say, had called 911 to report a fire in the back bedroom of their home.
They yelled at me to get back in the house. Because? They didn't tell me. They just yelled, get back in the house. So, what's going on? They'll get in the house.
Jeffrey Yu lives across the street from the shooting. He said he heard 4 gunshots, went outside, and saw firefighters huddled next to his house behind their rigs.
They could not have reacted in time.
The LAPD explaining that the son shot the mother right in front of firefighters. And it happened so quickly, they couldn't do anything about it. According to firefighters, mom and son were on the front yard, not far from where I'm standing, when they arrived on scene. The fire was in the back of the house, and it was contained to a bedroom. The fire department said they were arguing. The mother was yelling, arrest him, arrest him. And then, quickly, the son went back in the house. The fire department assumed it was okay because the flames were in the back of the house and not in the front. He said he needed to get something personal. When he came out, he had a handgun with him, and then, in front of the firefighters, right here, shot his mother in the head 4 times, and then went back in the house.
All I know is the dad told me that he was trouble.
I knew something wasn't right, but I didn't think it'd be like this.
After Ramirez shot his mother, he ran back into the house. Police say he shot himself and then kept police at bay until he surrendered an hour later. At last check, according to the fire department, Ramirez, the son, remains in critical condition. And one of the firefighters off camera said, for a minute there, I thought he was going to start shooting at us. Back to the studio.
All right, Dave, thank you. Dirty and smelly water. That's what people living in Compton and Willowbrook are dealing with, and they're fed up.
Major buildup in pipes is causing the tap water to turn brown. KCAL9's Lisa Siegel is live in Compton with more on the problem and what's being done to fix it. Lisa?
Well, hi, you guys. You know what? Residents are certainly fed up. I mean, look at this. Imagine if this was the water that came out of your faucet, your shower, your bathtub, even what you water your yard with. Residents here say they're dealing with this and water that is sometimes so much darker.
Yeah, no, it's horrible.
Norma Hernandez has lived in her Compton home for more than 20 years, but she says the last few have been a nightmare.
So they say that the problem has been recent, but it hasn't.
That's because this is what's coming out. Dirty, smelly brown water. She took this video more than a year ago. And this video just 2 days ago.
It's just horrible. There's no one that could drink this water, cook with it, or do anything.
Today, officials with the Sativa LA County Water District that serves Compton and Willowbrook held a press conference to address concerns. They were met by angry residents who say they are fed up. Many are already meeting with attorneys about a class action lawsuit.
Our water district?
Even so, the water district officials announced an aggressive new program to clean the 80-year-old pipelines, which they say are the cause of the discoloration and odd-smelling water. It's called flushing, and now will be done 4 times a year.
We open up hydrants, and through high velocity and pressure, we try to clean up as much sediments as we can.
Officials showed how it worked in the clean water after, but people living here say it's been done before, and they don't believe their water is safe to drink.
It's very scary, the way that the water looks, actually, and I have no idea what's in there.
Now the district says the discolored water is safe to drink. Health inspectors were out taking samples, but Norma Hernandez says even after the flushing today and seeing her water running mostly clean, she doesn't trust it. She says it's been done before and ends up like this days later. And what is so scary for these residents is many of them say they just don't know what's in the water. And even though the water district says the water is safe, they just can't trust it. As for their water running clean today, they say we'll just see how long that lasts. Back to you.
Let's hope it does. All right, Lisa, thanks. Tens of thousands of demonstrators rallied in the streets of LA today to commemorate the 103rd anniversary of the Armenian Genocide. It took place in Little Armenia, area of Hollywood. As many as 1.5 million Armenians died during the Armenian Genocide that began in 1915, a campaign blamed on the Ottoman Turkish government. The genocide has been documented by historians, but Turkish government officials have denied it ever happened. Local Armenian Americans want the U.S. government to formally recognize the deaths as a genocide.
My grandpa actually flew from Turkey to Baghdad. His brother, sister, everybody got killed. Taking advantage from them and killing them and torture them and then not accepting it is not acceptable.
There is a second march and rally in the Mid-City area going from Pan Pacific Park to the Turkish consulate at Wilshire and San Vicente Boulevards. LAPD officials say the streets in the area will remain closed for the march until 6 o'clock tonight.
A tale of two presidents. The backdrop, the White House. The event, President Trump's first state dinner. And his guest is French President Emmanuel Macron. KCAL9's Sandra Mitchell is here now with the second day of their face-to-face. Sandra. Yeah, Lena, busy day today, and they're going to continue that conversation tonight at the Trump's first official state dinner. First Lady Melania, we're told, has been working with the staff. She wants to make sure everything is perfect. So the guests are starting to arrive. Some live pictures now from the White House. We still don't know, though, who actually is invited because the White House has been keeping the guest list a secret. Again, a live look right now at the arrival ceremony. We know the guests are going to be dining on buttermilk biscuit crumbles, rack of lamb, and ice cream and fresh nectarines. The presidents, Trump and Macron, will continue their conversations from earlier today. President Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron shared a light moment during the historic state visit at the White House.
We do have a very special relationship. In fact, I'll get that little piece of dandruff off. Little piece. We have to make him perfect. He is perfect.
Later, they talked about a lot of big issues, including the nuclear deal with Iran. President Macron made it clear he believes the U.S. should not abandon the agreement.
The discussions we've had together make it possible to open the way, to pave the way for a new agreement, an agreement on which we will work.
Earlier, President Trump lashed out that Iran might restart their nuclear program if the U.S. pulls out of the deal.
They restart it, they're going to have big problems, bigger than they've ever had before.
The two leaders also talked about trade, North Korea, and the conflict in Syria. President Trump again vowed to withdraw U.S. troops soon, even though President Macron is urging him to reconsider.
We want to come home. We'll be coming home, but we want to have a very, very strong, we want to leave a strong and lasting footprint.
All right, so an important and exciting night at the White House right now. Usually a few reporters are invited to these state dinners, but Juan and Lena, as far as we know, no journalists on the guest list for tonight. Okay, we've got some more breaking news. Let's go back to that scene. A man in a standoff with police in Hacienda Heights.
Stu Mundell in Sky 9 live overhead. Stu, what's going on? It looks like he's almost coming down.
Juan, it's just kind of on that rooftop right now. It started off as an armed, barricaded suspect. They were concerned about the people in the area and also themselves. Right now, they're more concerned about that suspect. He's sitting there on the roof. He is talking to the deputies out here. These are crisis negotiators mixed in with a lot of the SWAT professionals here. They've got some in the actual house. They've got them on the ground. They have a ladder. Right now, though, that suspect with his pants on, refusing to come down. Again, this happening out here in the Hacienda Heights area. 16,000 block of Carriage. Live in Sky 9, I'm Stu Mundell. Back to you two in the studio.
Not a lot of places for him to go. All right, Stu, keep us posted on it. Looks like he's coming down. Yes?
Yeah, well, he makes his way down, gets close, and then he always kind of backs up, but we'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully he'll just come down that ladder and they'll take him into custody peacefully. Right now, though, it's still technically a standoff.
Yeah, so they've got some officers on the ground there, negotiators talking to him. They've got some inside the house as well, just kind of teetering on the edge of that garage there. Again, this started as a barricaded gunman, and this actually prompted the evacuation of like 5 to 8 neighboring homes because people were concerned for the safety of the neighbors in the area. So they've been evacuated. This is taking place on Carriage Place, not far from the intersection of Colima and Halliburton Drives in Hacienda Heights. So Sky 9 will stay above the situation. Again, Stu says he'll come to the edge, maybe take a step or two. There goes a shoe. Was that a shoe? It looks like he's got slippers on.
He took off one of those shoes. And remember earlier in the newscast, Stu was telling us that he was actually naked on that ledge there just outside that window. He's been throwing his arms up. He's been waving that T-shirt around, maybe in a sign of surrender. But so far right now, he's still there just on the edge of that roof there. Look, he's shaking out his shoes, possibly taking orders from police, making sure that he is not armed before he steps down off this ledge here. But something very interesting to see unfold. You have a man here, many officers down below. If he even tries to jump, nothing. He'll be all right. But he's still just rocking back and forth.
Okay, well, of course, keep an eye on the situation, and if it changes, we'll come right back to Stu Mundell.
He threw his flip-flops back up. All right. More news now. Brazen robbers at Orange County Target stores. Thieves break in. They smash the ATMs. We're live with details coming up at 4:30.
But first, no one home to accept your delivery? No problem. Amazon will deliver to your car.
And a scary day at work, dangling from a high-rise building. Scary moments followed by an even more daring rescue.
And a live look right now with our Santa Monica Pier camera. You can see we still have some very gray clouds up above, but inland very clear. I'll tell you about a cool down on the way.